It's just a public service announcement. Allow me to reintroduce myself. My name is Ho, H to the O.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Pro Sports Takes. As you can see in the title, we got a special guest on this episode. How about you introduce us, man? Let them know what you're all about.
So my name is Anish. I'm from the Cold Hard Truth podcast, also known as the Cold Hard Truth on YouTube. And we basically go over all things football, all things NFL, go over draft content or college content, college players. And we also go over all things NFL, whether it be breaking news, predictions, takes. And, we've been doing it for now 1.5 years. Crazy to say. But Rob reached out to us. Brandon also reached out to us. So appreciate you guys for reaching out, and excited to get this started with you guys. That's pretty much all I need to say. I'm sure they'll leave our links down below. But if you guys want to check us out, we're on all podcast platforms. We're on YouTube as well. We've got great content out there. So if you guys want more football content, feel free to check us out.
Absolutely. We'll definitely throw those links in the description. And we actually went on your show as well. So check us out there. But if you are an NFL fan, football fan, and you like facts, go check out Cold Hard Truth Podcast. That's all they do is spit facts. So you definitely got to give it a listen. And today we're going to be spitting facts about the best draft classes from the 2021 NFL class. A lot of teams came out with a lot of value, but what teams came out with the most? That's what we're going to get in today. And Anish, you're our special guest. How about you kick us off, man?
All right, so I'm going to try and speed through these, but at 5, I got the New England Patriots. Now, for the Patriots, I think this draft was definitely a really different one than how they normally do things. Obviously, Tom Brady leaving, so the whole question was, are they going to get a quarterback? With Cam Newton, the questions were huge, and they did, and they picked Mac Jones at 15. I really like that pick. I'm really excited to see it. I think he's just, a poor man's Tom Brady in a way. Like, he plays so similar, that 7x9 yard box, in the pocket. That's where he plays best. He's so good at placement throws. I love that pick. But it's not even that made them a top 5 draft class, in my opinion. It's the value that they got in day 2. Ronnie Perkins, a defensive end from Oklahoma. I had him as a second-round talent. Early in the second round, I thought he was going to go. They got him in the 3rd round towards the end. That was very, very impressive to me. I think it was one of the final picks in the 3rd round. So that was hats off to them. And also Christian Barmore, a guy who I also had in my top 20. I thought he was going to go. He was by far the best interior defensive lineman in the draft, in my opinion. Obviously got that Alabama pedigree. And Bill Belichick says, hey, let me scoop him in the 2nd round. I believe they traded up for him, if I'm not mistaken, but I think that was worth it. Loved also the McGrone pick, the linebacker out of Michigan. I love that pick as well. I think they just, got the guys that they needed. Also the Missouri safety. Got positions of need, but also getting best players available. And I think this draft class only adds to this crazy offseason that the Patriots have had. If you're cool with me, moving on to number 4, I got the New York Jets, another AFC East team. And I think the Jets, basically what they were saying is, obviously the Zach Wilson pick was kind of expected. Everyone kind of anticipated him going at number 2, but, the Jets are trying to basically remake the struggles that they've had with, Sam Darnold, and try and actually build around their quarterback. And I really like the Elijah Vera Tucker trade up that they did. Yeah, they gave up their 3rds, but they still have a bunch of picks next year, so they're not really missing out on anything. They still had 3/5. So I think for Elijah Vera Tucker to put him alongside that left side with Mekhi Becton, that's a great left side for Zach Wilson to build on. And that pick at 34, Elijah Moore, again, a first-round receiver that I had him later in the 1st round, but to get him at pick 34 was, I think, a really, really solid pickup. I think he's going to play great, in that Jamison Crowder role. That can also allow Jamison Crowder to play maybe on the opposite side slot or maybe on the outside. Gives him a lot of versatility there. And again, Michael Carter is another pick that really stood out to me because you didn't put too much into the running back position. You didn't spend a 1st, you didn't spend a 2nd, you didn't even spend a 3rd. You got a 4th round pick on a guy who is the Sony Michel, Nick Chubb hybrid, how he played at UNC with Javonte Williams. So I thought it was a great pickup to, play alongside Tevin Coleman. And I think that's 4th on my list. At 3, I'm going to go with the Chicago Bears. And I talked with Rob off the air a little bit on the Justin Fields pick, but man, this is finally something that Chicago had. Like, Chicago's been starving for a quarterback, and to get a guy like him, in the 1st round, trade up for him, the 11th pick, like, this is something Chicago's been starving for. Like, this is narrative-wise, this is all the tools, all the great things in the making. And I love Justin Fields. He's my favorite Ohio State quarterback that I've ever watched, and I think he's going to be absolutely incredible for them. And another pick, you know, they didn't have many picks after round 2, but that round 2 pick of Tevin Jenkins was honestly could be my steal of the draft because I had him. I was very high on him. I think he's my 4th tackle in this class. And to get him at pick 39 is very strong. He holds blocks. He's a power blocker, and he's definitely as a second level blocker, probably one of the best in this class, if not right behind Sewell in that regard. Very talented, and he's very bulky and husky. So I like that pick for Chicago. Also, the Khalil Herbert pick wasn't that bad. I think, you know, maybe to back up David Montgomery. Also, Daz Newsome out of North Carolina, I really liked. I think the Bears really killed it with the picks that they had, and also giving up 1 first, I think, to move up for Justin Fields. If he pans out, teams are going to be like, yeah, whatever. It was 1 first for your franchise guy. Now, at number 2, for those of you who don't know, I am a diehard Browns fan, and I wanted to keep my bias out as much as possible, but I really think the Browns killed it in this draft class. Like, I mean, at pick 26, you get a guy in Greg Newsome who only allowed 12 catches his entire, I think it was junior year. He was a stud at Northwestern. Played outside, was amazing, 6-foot frame, but he plays so much bigger than that and stronger than his frame gives. And to get JOK at pick 52, who was a lot of guys' 15th to 20th ranked prospect, even though he had the heart thing, I don't think that's going to be anything major. But JOK is an absolute stud. I did a video on him and Micah Parsons if you guys want to check that out. But you know what I was able to see from him, he is a great coverage guy, especially in zone coverage. He can follow running backs, he can cover tight ends, and he's a great in pursuit, especially in the backfield. So I love the pick. Also, Anthony Schwartz was, I thought, a great fast wide receiver that can really take the top off of defenses. He ran a 4.25. And also I think it was Tommy Togai, or Togai, however you say it, the defensive tackle out of Ohio State I really liked. And then Demetric Felton, that's the one I want to round it out with, the running back wide receiver, just a hybrid guy. If Kareem Hunt leaves, I think you'd be a great backup for Nick Chubb. Also getting a 4th-round pick from the Detroit Lions, trading back during that. I thought Andrew Berry did a stellar job, and that's why he's my favorite GM that we've ever had, and just, you know, one of the best young GMs in football. And then to round it out for my list, I got the Lions at number 1. And for the Detroit Lions, the reason why I have them at number 1 is because I think they killed it in just every facet. One, also, it's a very underrated part of why I put them at number 1, but the reaction to when they drafted Sewell by Campbell and their GM, I'm forgetting his name, but just the way they reacted with each other, just how happy they were of the pick and how excited, it just showed a culture change. And that's why I was like, okay, you know what? Detroit really put effort into this draft. You wouldn't see Matt Patricia jumping up and down for picking anybody. Like, I don't even care if it was a franchise quarterback. He just wasn't that invested in the team, showed up late to meetings. So it finally said, hey, we're going for a culture change. And taking Sewell over a flashy guy like Devontae Smith shows that, okay, we really did our research for, you know, who we want to pick. And also another one, Amon-Ra St. Brown, the wide receiver from USC at round 4. Oh, I love the pick. I think he's a mini Marvin Jones. He's got insane potential. Also 2 defensive tackles to kind of fill the voids that you lost Danny Shelton, you know, all those years ago. But I think the Lions definitely killed it in the sense that, hey, we got each position, you know, offensive tackles, defensive tackles, a corner, wide receiver, and then a linebacker and a running back to fill the void of Kerryon Johnson. Lions killed it in every facet. They didn't reach anywhere. They didn't, you know, make any unnecessary trades. And I think the Sewell pick is just, you know, probably one of the best value picks in the 1st round because of how great he is. So I think I ramble a little bit too much, but those are probably my top 5. I loved all of these draft classes. And I think all 5 of these teams definitely got better through the draft.
So that's the cold, hard truth right there. B, what's your thoughts without giving away anything that we got going on?
I like the list a lot. Like some of the things that you did in detail, especially with Tevin Jenkins and the Bears. I like how you went into how this is what the Bears fans needed and what they really wanted. And they finally gave them the guy that's going to take this franchise to heights that it hasn't seen in God knows how long. So it's a very solid list, and I'm excited to get into ours.
Yeah, very solid list. Got the Lions at number 1, which I think is a little surprising, but thought your explanation covering all the different positions and players that they added to their team is going to definitely help their rebuilding period that they got with their new coaching staff and front office. So it'll be interesting to see how that works out. But going